I'm just talking to myself. Fantastic. So this is a complete depiction of my day. I'm missing my co-host. Like, my banner wasn't together. I'm 2 minutes late. Okay, let me explain. Can you guys hear me now? Daryl, Becky, Ronnie, Bedford Paranormal. I did unmute the mic, damn it. Can you hear me now?
Can y'all hear?
Check. God, you can't come in here and like die.
Beetlejuice.
All right, so let me explain. Okay, us being late is completely my fault. I have discovered a zero-turn mower. This is my life excitement. Okay, so I was zip zooming around the yard on a zero-turn mower, and like anybody who mows grass, like it becomes a freaking obsession. Like if your lines are not straight, like it drives you insane. So this is why I look like this. I don't care. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. Like Sean looked at me. He's like, "Oh, it's like 7:40. You should get off the mower." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll get the field later. Like that's cool, whatever. And we'll weed eat tomorrow. Like no biggie. Like the grass isn't ridiculous." So I come inside, 7:59. I'm like, this is simply not going to work. Like I have to pee. So now here we are. I managed to go to the bathroom, get water, get my vape, and throw my hair up and get the grass out of it before we started, and change my clothes before we started the lovely podcast. So here we are. Bedford Paranormal in the house. North Carolina Coastal Plains in the house.
North Carolina.
ASPS Orion Effect.
AS Pizzle. For shizzle.
Rift Nation Network, and the other half of G3, Mr. Howie, Dr. Howie Odell. Hello, everybody. So tonight, and Jess from Beyond the Badge Paranormal.
What's up, Jess?
Hi, darling.
Howie, Paul, Becky.
I was over here,
Ronnie,
just explaining I have discovered a zero-turn. I know, I'm sorry. I was 2 minutes late. I discovered a zero-turn lawnmower. I got excited.
I will say I give Courtney hell, but she actually did a really good job. Now, of course, I had to stand out there and coach her through it.
He did. I'm not going to lie. I was petrified, you guys. First of all.
At first, I was afraid. I was petrified.
First of all, if you like push forward and pull back, like you do donuts. All right. At a high rate of speed. And I'm like flipping out. So then I discovered that you could slow it down and do fun donuts. So that was cool. But yeah, I have straight lines. I'm very proud of my yard work.
Once she listened to me.
What are we talking about?
We're like Ike and Tina over here. But slow that damn lawnmower down.
What are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about people that look like me. Shadow figures.
Stupid. Sam from Wyoming.
Sam.
Michelle Wilfong with the Haunted Apartment.
Go follow her on YouTube.
John Sullivan with Fredericksburg.
My brother.
Paranormal. Guys,
F-P-R-I.
I'm like, oh, if you see me keep looking down, I'm like panicking about ticks right now. I had bug spray, but like the panic is real.
Yeah, man. We got a property in the country, man.
I'm like,
the ticks, boy, woo, they'll get on you.
So this past weekend, we did a Civil War reenactment. Had an absolute ball.
My death was epic this weekend.
Yes.
Can you reenact it? Can you show him how I died this weekend?
He was standing there, takes a hit, and he says, "Oh, you got me, my brother," and falls backwards on his back. Then realizes on his back he can't sneak a cell phone. And so I have to act like I'm a medical personnel, go over and check on him, shield him with a giant skirt so he can flip over
I like the view, though.
Onto his stomach and utilize his phone.
Was my death epic, though?
Your death was epic.
Oh, you got me, brother.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up for you guys. I really am. Like, I cannot.
You gotta show them my death, man.
And then we'll talk paranormal.
I died tragically, but it was beautiful. Oh, you got me, my brother.
I know this is a paranormal show, guys, but I feel like you guys are close enough to us that you
those of y'all sensitive
should
people,
be privy to this death.
Yeah, the death was great, man. Like, I've been working on my death because my first death I ever did, I was just like, oh, and fell over.
What did you do?
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm in the wrong freaking
slow ass internet, man. I pay all
no.
this money for
Okay, all right. I was in the wrong. Shut up. I was in the wrong freaking. I'm in my business. What is going on?
How many Facebook accounts you got?
Like,
you got a sneaky link somewhere.
No sneaky links. I've got business accounts, bruh. I'm on Hill.
You got business accounts because you be up in everybody's business. Why are we on here?
You are now acting as yourself on Facebook. Would you like to see your profile? No.
See, now you
look, Jess called me out. I thought you come on every Tuesday.
Oh, she hit you with the. Jess. I thought you come. I bet she did her head like this when she sent the message too. I'm gonna send her a message. She probably did her head like that.
Let me find this freaking video, guys, because
bear with us. I can't see none of y'all's comments right now, but we'll get back to it.
Because this is crazy work right here.
Because this death, it was epic. I've been working on it. My next.
All right, hold on.
Is that it? I don't think that's it.
It is. I promise you, it is. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Are you guys ready to see Sean?
Are you ready to see?
I'm gonna call it CNS Lawn Care. In tribute. All right, Karen Marsh.
So if I died this weekend,
yes, Ronnie, this is Hollywood quality. Is everybody ready?
Does that make me a ghost sitting here?
Yes.
I'm really a shadow figure.
Okay, Amy asked a really good question. So, Amy, I'm going to answer that before I show the video so you guys understand how this works. So, during a Civil War reenactment, there are actually strategies. So, like the Union general and like the Confederate general, general commander, discuss like what strategy they're going to do. We know before we go out there if we're going to win or lose which battle and stuff like that. So basically, the Confederate side will say, ready, load, aim, fire, and then they'll shoot at the Union. Then the Union, ready, aim, load, fire, whatever, and then they'll shoot at the Confederacy.
Hey, this is WWE. Don't be giving out all our secrets.
Okay, if you run out of ammo, run out of caps, you get tired, you get hot, you just don't feel like going forward anymore, you can, quote unquote, take a hit. You have to do this with strategic planning. In this video, you will see this strategic planning. So with that being said, let me share my screen.
We're gonna lose followers showing.
I will show you guys this. This is.
Cut your screens up, y'all. You will hear my epic death.
Can you see it? Wait, there we go. All right, ready? Whoa! I'm gonna let it play one more time. One more time. Because I'm about to call you on something here in a minute. Now that I'm watching this again for the umpteenth time. All right. So that was that. Okay. I'm going to remove that.
Hey, in the comments, was my death epic?
Hey, Leah.
Was it better than my last time I died?
Yeah. No, I don't know. So, yes. I'm going to say yes. Everybody right now is laughing at you. Like, this is, yes, bravo. Oscar.
Thank you, Howie.
Yes, he is God. Like, it was terrible.
I was gone.
Okay. So, in this particular instance, if you noticed, I noticed there was not a shot that was fired off. In this particular instance,
there was a shot fired.
No.
Yes, it was.
In this death,
play it again.
No, I'm not going to play it again because we have a paranormal show. But
that's all right.
But in this particular instance, it had been raining all weekend, so a lot of people were having like rifle malfunctions. And in this particular instance, this rifle wasn't firing. So we tried to like fix it on the battlefield, and that was unsuccessful. So the next option was to take a hit and like die, because you can't just stand there and like not have a rifle to shoot. So right after that, him and I think 2 other people went down for similar, hey Kim, problems. Kim. Chad said my beer just spewed all over my desk from laughing. Daryl gives you a 10.
Thank you.
Ronnie gives you a 9.5.
Oh shit, a 9.5 from Ronnie, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's I'll take it.
So all in all, guys, this weekend we had an absolute blast. Our unit, I'm going to give a shout out to, yes.
I think James missed the video.
James, did you see the video? Kim, did you see it?
See, I told you to play it one more time.
All right, one more time for those that just got in here.
Yes, I died this weekend.
Sean died.
I got shot, man. These gangsters, these Yankee gangsters.
Last time, right here. Whoa! Okay, they did shoot over there.
I told you they shot.
So Sean
Why am I smiling?
Sean, I had to tell you to like stop smiling. So Brandon Cooper said hello from James and Kim's couch. Hey,
What's up, Brandon?
Yes, so there was a shot from the unit that was over there. Now that I watched it again, I watch these videos over and over because I find like different things in each video. My job on this unit is unit photographer. So I get to go on the battlefield and follow right behind our unit and take all the really cool pics. So there was just, I've got to give a shout out to the 24th Virginia Infantry, because this weekend we were wet. We were miserable, tired. Things were a little bit chaotic. Communication is not always the best when you have multiple parties involved, but yet our unit managed to make the freaking best of it. Like, we really did. So on the last day, we were expecting a downpour. Last battle, we were supposed to start at 2. Rain is starting at 3. We were like, perfect. So in between the first battle and the last battle, we tore down camp. And like, Amy, I could send you, well, actually I can send you more videos. I've got more videos. Definitely cool. And I'll keep you posted where we go. But there's a pretty major battle coming up here, October 17th through the 19th. Don't quote me on that.
That's when we ran into Middletown Paranormal.
Yep. 17th through the 19th, you got Cedar Creek, the Battle of Cedar Creek. It's on the Cedar Creek battlefield.
Thousands of reenactors.
Middletown Paranormal. You've got vendors. You've got sutlers. You've got battles, artillery demonstrations.
We're such nerds.
Living history events. Like, yeah, it's cool. But anyway, we were under a horse trailer because it was not supposed to start raining until 3. They pushed the battle back. Our entire unit is cramped under this horse trailer. Stinking. We were wet.
Well, I wasn't stinky. Y'all were stinky.
That's because you chose to sit out in the rain like a miserable person.
It stunk under there.
Anyway, we have somebody on our unit, and his song is Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show. If you ask him, it is not Darius Rucker's version. It is Old Crow's version. And he gets to dancing. His little feet get to moving. And, somebody played it, and he got to going. And I could have literally bought everybody in the unit for a penny. Their faces were epic, and everybody chimed in and started singing. So at one point we had like a loud live Old Crow karaoke show. It was pretty cool.
It was a blast.
So now after that, we all got in our cars and sped the hell out of there. But that's beside the point. Anyway, on to the paranormal.
Ronnie.
You will get my full score when you nesty plunge. Can't catch yourself. Brandon Cooper, will you be at the bash? That is up for discussion.
Possibly, maybe. Not sure.
I am going to be in Pennsylvania like 3 weeks back to back prior. And I just don't think I can pull the fourth one, but I'm trying. I am trying. Lois, hi.
Hey,
now,
Lois.
Fredericksburg Paranormal will be at the bash. So definitely holler at them, get up with them. Awesome people.
If you haven't met them, you need to.
Yes.
I believe our friends Bedford Paranormal will be there too. If you haven't met them, you got to meet them.
Debbie Cushman said silver hair. The hair is present.
The hair is here. He needs his own theme song.
Yes.
I believe Ric Flair's music needs to play once he enters the chat.
Tonight's topic.
Shadow figures. What in the comments? Let us know what you think before we get to talking about shadow figures. I've done some research on this one, and Beyond the Badge will be there. Those are another group of people. Stop and talk to Beyond the Badge. They have some very interesting things, even beyond paranormal, to talk about, and not even interesting, very knowledgeable stuff to talk about. They get very deep. If you missed our podcast, Brandon, you said this was your first time watching. Find an episode with Beyond the Badge. They talk some real stuff, man.
Hashtag content for a cause.
They got some real stuff they talk about, even beyond the paranormal. But I would say the stuff they talk about ties in with it, with mental health, and definitely stop and give them some conversation, because they're good. They got some good stuff, good content as well.
So John Sullivan says he has seen several shadow figures in his 15 years in the field. John, I'm pretty sure you've been in the field longer. Like, I feel like you were there like during the dinosaur ages. Not calling you old. You just have a lot of experience.
So John, you've seen them. What are your thoughts, man? Like, John usually has, if you talk to John Sullivan, he's got some pretty good point of view on stuff.
All right. But for those that are in here that aren't on a paranormal team, or, might not know like exactly like what a shadow figure is, or you might be like curious, like, what is a shadow figure?
No, John, you actually look young for your age.
Nah. So shadow figures are why I became interested in the paranormal. My grandma used to follow me and appear as a shadow figure. I could never look directly at her, though. That's interesting. But for those that want to know what a shadow figure is, okay, according to AI's definition, and yes, I utilized AI because I am trying to get hip with the times, guys. But a shadow figure, also known as a shadow person, which I found was interesting, and I'll go back to that. Shadow person, or a black mass. Found that interesting too. I've got a shadow person sitting next to me. Is a phenomenon often reported in paranormal and supernatural circles. They are typically described as dark humanoid silhouettes that appear to be made of shadow or the absence of light. And then they go on and break down of what a shadow figure is. I'm not going to go into that entire thing because it's a mile long, but basically they take humanoid form. They're described as blacker than black. Some describe them as being so dark that they actually seem to absorb light. They're fleeting and elusive. Their movement is different from that of, say, like our shadows that are cast on the wall. Like, you can see my shadow behind me right here. And then everybody who has seen, and I'm putting up air quotes for this, okay? And I'm going to let you take it right after I say this.
Take it.
Everybody that has seen a shadow figure has a feeling of negativity, a sense of unease, fear, or even malevolence in their presence. Theories and interpretations of this are ghosts and spirits, interdimensional beings, jinn. For those that don't know, i.e., the Middle Eastern lore, shadow people are often associated with jinn entities. Those are made of like smokeless fire. They shapeshift, exist parallel to humans. Demonic. Other entities that include them being aliens, time travelers, astral travelers. But there's physiological and psychological explanations to shadow figures. But I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to get into the physiological and psychological after I let Sean touch on something that he's been really doing a lot of research on. Why? I'm going to lead you into this, Sean. Why does everybody associate a shadow figure with a demonic presence?
I'm going to give my opinion based on research and based on theory and based on my work in the mental health field. So I'm throwing everything in a pot here, and you can in the comments. I would like to see.
No, Brandon, they're this big.
I would like to see in the comments who agrees and disagrees with me on this.
Right there, Ronnie disagrees.
They're evil. Okay. So here's my opinion on shadow figures and why they're associated with evil.
There's another disagree.
Okay. So the reason why I disagree with it, well, the reason why I think that people associate with evil, the number one reason is Hollywood. Hollywood has taken paranormal to a whole nother level. And it's part of the reason why people think what we do is so goofy, is so fake, is so childish. And every movie, if you look at it, what does the demon do? They form in black mass. They form in shadows. They form at dark corners. They form at night. All the paranormal activity starts at night and at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a witching hour.
So, right. So what Hollywood has done is given everybody this misconception that if you see a dark thing fly past you or move past you, it's associated with evil. Also psychological. When people aren't into the paranormal or don't have, or a lack of knowledge of the paranormal, and they see a shadow move past them that's not supposed to, not for it's supposed to be there. And I'm gonna get there too, Lois. Good point. When people don't know about it, what happens when they see a shadow move or a person there that's not supposed to be there that appears as a shadow or mass? They get scared. People associate fear with evil. What's up, Ryan? Shout out freaking awesome paranormal show at ASPS. But people associate fear with evil as well. So when people associate those two together, stories get passed down. Stories get told. Next thing you know, what started off as a shadow figure starts off, then it goes into red eyes, and it goes into you felt dread. But also in my research, it goes into sleep paralysis. It goes into witch riding your back. It goes into so many different things. Every experience that I've personally had with a shadow figure has never been negative associated with it. Now, I can't speak for other people's experience with it. Y'all might have had a different one, but I can tell you two that pop in my head because they're the most recent experiences I've had. Well, we see them in our house all the time.
I'm gonna get to that, James.
All the time. So,
and they've been real prominent lately.
Yeah, in our house, and it's my fault.
Yeah,
it's my fault. We'll talk about that too. But the major experiences, and I'll talk about these because I got them on camera. My theory in the paranormal is weird and it's warped. And I'll admit that it's weird and it's warped because I believe that a lot of things that I don't talk about unless I can prove it. But the two most prominent shadow figures that I'll talk about, and the reason why is because if anybody challenges me on it, I can prove it. I've got it on video. One was at Rainworth Lodge, one of my favorite locations to investigate. I was standing outside. We had just got done investigating with our team. And a shadow figure pops up on the garage across the street and takes off 90 miles an hour. I feel like I was not supposed to catch that. Mind you, there was no other team member out there with me. I just stepped outside to catch a break, and the way that it popped up and the speed that it took off at, number one, if a human can move that fast, you must be the Flash. Two, it formed in the shape of a human. Three, with the way shadows appear and move. Again, I don't feel like I was supposed to catch that on camera. I was wearing a body cam at the time that I was able to catch that. And again, I didn't feel any dread. I didn't feel any evil. I didn't feel anything. It was almost as if I was not supposed to catch it. The second shadow figure I caught, I had no idea I was supposed to catch it. I mean, another team member went in a room. I believe we played the video.
Yeah, we played it last podcast.
Last podcast.
A child or nanny, we're not sure.
And a shadow just walked either in the I don't know where it was on the camera. I can't determine the location, but a shadow just walked past the camera. I didn't feel anything. I did feel the presence of someone else in the room besides us. And prior to catching the shadow figure on the camera, I did feel the room shaking as if something or someone was moving around. So again, I've never felt a presence or seen a shadow figure and felt evil. I've always felt calm. Now, I will say there was one time where we were investigating a cemetery and Courtney snapped a picture. I didn't see the shadow figure, or actually it was more of a mass. I didn't see it. I felt very uncomfortable and felt the presence of evil. And when she snapped the picture and caught the black mass, and I wish you knew where it was so we could show everyone. Again, I'm speaking on things that I can prove right now. There was that evil presence in that mask that we caught. And this mask was more than just a shadow. This was an actual mass in the picture. So I think a lot of evil gets associated in it was brought up earlier that the Bible brings up a lot of evil when people are talking about it. You know, I will say that the Bible brings up evil with paranormal. It goes hand in hand with certain people's beliefs and religious beliefs all the time. I do hear, living in Lynchburg, that famous college on the hill, on the mountain, we hear it all the time. Y'all are playing with demons and evil. But the black mask, Courtney was able to locate that mask that we found. Now, mind you, we took this to professional photographers to debunk it because we wanted to debunk our own evidence. So we went straight to photographers, and she's going to share the picture of the mask that we caught on camera.
And no, Ronnie, those two yellow dots are not orbs, and I'm going to put that out there for everybody. I've had a lot of people come to me and say I see the two yellow orbs.
And I'll let Courtney talk about
as somebody who has been doing photography for a really long time, I snapped this picture towards the sun. Those are sun glare. It happens a lot, especially on raw images. You will get sun glare and glare from, lights and things like that. So those two yellow rounds, and one kind of looks like a stop sign to me, right? Those are sun glare. But this black mass, yes, that is snow on the ground. This is an old pic. I think the date is on it. 2016, I snapped this picture, January 30th, 2016, when it used to snow in Virginia. Thanks, James. Yeah, great orbs. Yes, Ronnie, lens flares. That's exactly what it is. It's from the sun. And yes, I am the paranormal flasher. For those that don't know,
you're the Flash.
I'm going to start coming to investigations in nothing but a trench coat. Right? Okay. Anyway, back to the picture. So I have, and if you look at my photography page, Timeless Photographs, I'm not asking for any follows. This is totally a hobby page for me. You will see I have a sick obsession with cemeteries. I absolutely love photographing headstones, old cemeteries, things like this. This particular photo was snapped in Old City Cemetery here in Lynchburg. When I entered this particular section of the cemetery, which will tickets be for that? Brandon and I will have to come up with a ticket price. Ronnie and Daryl are still reviewing CCTV footage We may just add it on our Paranormal OnlyFans. But anyway, this particular section that I was in right here, I got into this section and had like an overwhelming feeling of like dread, like get out, you're not welcome here, like whatever. So I actually was walking, camera was around my neck, and I stopped. Sean and Naya were behind me. I stopped dead in my tracks and I put both my hands up and I said, okay, we're leaving. Sean thought I was absolutely insane talking to a tree because that's all that was in front of me. And I said, I'm sorry to bother you. We're leaving. And I backed up. And as I backed up, I picked up my camera and I started flashing pictures. When I got to the car, I reviewed the raw images. I saw nothing. When I got home, I uploaded let me back it up. So when I got in the car, my heart was kind of pounding, racing, and I just kind of felt like an adrenaline rush. And I explained to Sean, I said, when I got in that section, something didn't want us there. I don't know what it was, but something did not want us there. And he said, all right, let's go to another section of the cemetery. And off we went. So when I got home later that night, I uploaded the photos. And there was about 12 photos of this same photo, minus a few with the lens flare. But there was this one black mass time-stamped around the same time that I had decided to start snapping the pictures as I was exiting. So, and if you go to this picture, this is really bad. I can't zoom in like on the podcast or whatever, but when you zoom in, it actually has like almost like wings, like it's coming out of the ground, like with wings. And, do I know if this is paranormal? No, I don't. Am I claiming it's paranormal? No, I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because I don't know.
We'll know what it is.
I thought it was a very strange occurrence that in this particular section, I had a feeling that we needed to get the F out of there quickly. And the crazy thing is, and I didn't even add this one in there, as we were exiting, I was walking backwards and Sean decided that he was going to balance. There was like a concrete wall and he was like balancing on the wall. And he said it felt like something shoved him off the wall, which he did stumble forward, which caused me to stop snapping pictures and ask if he was okay. And of course, Naya was like, oh my God, are you okay? And, he was like, yeah. And he didn't say anything. And then when we got to the car, he was like, I felt like something kind of like pushed me. So I don't know if maybe Sean was a trigger in that particular area.
That was right near the Confederate.
On the other side of that bush that you saw behind the tree was the Confederate section of the cemetery for those that have been there. And yes, Kim, he did. It was great orbs. So yeah, Humpty Dumpty effect. But yeah, so, that is an example of a quote unquote black mass caught on camera. Or what I think is a black mass, rather. So again, am I claiming it's paranormal? No, I'm not. Because I don't know.
Not sure on that one.
Yeah. But I do want to get in because James had asked a question earlier up here, and let me see if I can find it. He said, why do shadow figures always seem to shy away? And I wanted to kind of go into the physiological and psychological explanation behind, or what some people believe is behind shadow figures, right? So some people believe that it solely has to do with like sleep paralysis or like hallucinations, like in the sleep state. There's a lot of reported sightings that happen like occurring around sleep, like visual hallucinations. The person is awake, temporarily unable to move, or while you're drifting off into sleep, into that like hypnotic state, or you're first waking up and you're kind of in that daze, the brain is not fully awake, so it can misinterpret shadows or objects in the room. So I'm going to ask you guys in the comments, how many times have you guys hung your like hoodie or coat in the corner of your room, or your robe or something, and when you're like waking up, you're kind of like, oh shit, what's in the corner of my room, right? And then you're like, oh God, it's my robe. Oh yeah, I put it there. Like that happens. It's real. I've done it. Okay. Or like you leave a bag on a counter, and it just, when you first wake up or when you're kind of falling asleep, your mind is playing tricks on you. You're seeing things that are not there. And yes, Jess, sleep paralysis is horrible. There's a lot of different theories behind sleep paralysis. At the end of the day, it all leads back to that physiological and psychological explanation of sleep paralysis. But, you know, a lot of people have heard there's a witch riding your back. But that's that state when you're awake and you can hear yourself calling out to like your significant other, or, you know, calling out for help. There's no words that are actually coming out of your mouth. You feel like you're calling out for help. You cannot move, or anything like that. It feels like it is an eternity. I promise you, it's only like 10 seconds. But it really does. It is very scary. Yes. It's happened to me. Half of the time it's my kids coming in the room to wake me up, and I'm waking up going, holy, right. And we talked about that. Like, kids will mess you up. Like, I have punted my child across the room before. I am sorry. Like, he's grown now, so you can't call CPS. Haha. But we laugh about it now. Why were you standing at the end of my bed just lurking? Like, why? You didn't say a word, not even a word. You were just there. And this is like around the time when like friggin' Chucky was coming out, and like all those creepy like movies with the little like 3-foot figures. And here comes this little 3-foot kid in overalls. Yeah, you got to go. The other thing is brain misinterpretation.
Wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
Let's see. I found out that if I start to try to flip my feet first, it helps me wake up. Right. So a lot of the time, if you like move like a limb, or if you try to move a limb, it'll wake you up because it stimulates your brain. I believe it's due to the fact you woke up before your soul has returned. So you believe that your soul leaves your body when you go to sleep. Can you pee during sleep paralysis? I mean, I guess then at that point you would be wetting the bed. Maybe. I just recently had that happen to be the first time. It scared me to death. Yes, it is. Yeah, the first time can scare you. So the second explanation for shadow figures could be brain misinterpretation. Okay. In low light, or when we're experiencing like heightened emotions such as fear or adrenaline, the brain will misinterpret like patches of shadow or indistinct shapes as something human-like. Okay, you ever heard the term your mind can play tricks on you in the dark? That's where that comes from. A lot of the time, you know, it's referred to in the paranormal world as pareidolia, things like that. Okay. There's also other things common, well, not common, but there's other logical explanations such as medical conditions, certain medical conditions like dementia, schizophrenia, prolonged sleep deprivation, which is common if you're like a substance abuse addict. They have been linked to reporting seeing shadow figures. Depending on the substance, you might see some other crap too. We don't know. But then you go into like folklore and cultural beliefs. Okay. So the concept of like shadowy humanoids and entities has existed in folklore and ghost stories across almost every culture in different forms for centuries. And that's just like the crude reality of it. We have heard ghost stories our whole lives. And then our parents heard them, and our grandparents heard them, and their grandparents heard them, and so on and so forth. In some ancient folklore, shades, they're in air quotes, they're referring to shadow figures as shades of the underworld, were envisioned as like intercorporeal shadow forms of the deceased. So like they'll come forth as different shades from the underworld. So again, leaning towards that demonic piece. But ultimately, at the end of the day, okay, there is no definitive scientific explanation for shadow figures, and their existence still remains a subject of an ongoing debate, which is why we have brought this to you all. I am fascinated with shadow figures. I have seen them myself. I know a lot of other people that have seen them. I know when I'm tired and when I'm fully awake. I definitely am not hooked on meth. So, I'm not subjected to the whole substance abuse thing. I don't have any medical conditions that I know of, such as, dementia or schizophrenia. Crazy as hell, but not schizophrenic. So if I'm tired and see it, I will ask somebody that I'm with, like, hey, did you see that too? And if everybody's like, no, I will chalk it immediately up to me being tired. And that's how I personally investigate. But when I'm driving up a road and Sean slams his brakes and I say, whoa, hold on, at the same time, now you've got two people that just saw somebody cross the road. And when we call out and get out of the car to like see who it is, there's nobody there. Like, how do you explain that? 2 days after the fairy plantation, my 3-year-old was standing next to the bed and it was dark and I thought the kid followed me home. Oh my God, petrifying. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining us, Carrie. As
a shaman, I have different views, I guess, on this subject. And I would love, to hear the religious aspect on this. A lot of people pull religion into shadow figures and tie it immediately to demonic and the underworld. Then if you go like on the spiritual side of everything, I grew up hearing that spirits come to you in different color forms. So if you see black or red, it's automatically evil. If you see a dark blue, it's a protector. If you see a light blue or a white, it's coming to bring you peace, and calm. So, and then there was like more in there. I think there was like some different shades, like pink and purple, are there to like bring you joy and happiness or something. So, and I could be completely wrong on those two colors. I just remember the main ones, but, I've only seen a white shadow figure one time, and the rest of my shadow figures have been all dark. So then I'm going to pose the question, if you see a white shadow figure, is it at that point considered a shadow? Or is that considered an apparition?
Depends on what your definition of apparition is at that point. Why do shadow figures sometimes show themselves as figures and some as just masses? Ronnie, that's a good question. And I think that it's just like everything else in this field. We don't know. But if I had a theory based on that question, it would be the same as when we get EVPs, hey, Carrie.
Hey, Michael.
And hey, Carl as well. Central Virginia Paranormal Society. What's up? But I think that it's an energy thing. I think that it's the same reason why when we do our EVPs, we get one word sometimes. And why do we get sentences others? Why do we get an actual person show up as an apparition as opposed to a shadow figure, as opposed to a mask? I think it's an energy. I think it's a skill that could possibly, my favorite movies, I'll say it out loud, and probably said this before, is Ghost. I think there possibly could be, so I love the theory behind that, where
Hey,
when he
Taylor.
first died, he didn't know he was dead. Then he found out he was dead, and then he found out there's a way he found to manipulate his energy to move things and show himself and do things. And I think there's levels to it. Possibly, I think some spirits can do things that others can't. There's a lot of different theories that I believe the reason why some can show as a actual figure, some can manipulate. I think also the lighting in the room can also be manipulated by certain spirits. Some spirits, depending on what kind of light you have or the lighting itself, could show as a mass or as a person. So there's many different things. That's what keeps me investigating, because I don't know. That's why I'm experimenting. And you and I have talked about this on the phone, in person. I think lighting has a lot to do with what we see and how we see it as well.
What if spirits have stages? You know how, like, I hate to like refer to this, but your Facebook, actually, there was like a whole debate over these freaking bugs on your Facebook. And people got
lanternfly.
Yeah. So Sean posted a picture of the nymph.
Hey, Taylor.
The nymph stage lanternflies, okay? The blow up of this argument was insane.
All I did was try to take a nature shot, y'all.
But what if it's the same concept, okay? What if spirits have like stages of formation? So like they show up as a mass before they turn into a shadow figure, and then before they turn into a full-blown apparition with features.
Or what if there's levels to their energy? What if they have a little bit of energy, they're just a mass? They have a lot of energy, they're an apparition.
I don't know. So Brandon answered my question. He said you can't have shadow and light at the same time. So then there would be a difference between a shadow figure and a white shadow figure.
However,
but
there's been a clear apparition shown on certain cameras. The problem is in this field too, is how many investigators have faked evidence. So you don't know what you're looking at is it real or is it fake? There's a whole movie series out called The Blackwell Ghost, and my daughter and I is in a debate whether it's real or fake. I think it's completely Hollywood.
That movie or that series is really extra. If you guys have not watched it, like, it has me questioning a lot. But it is like Paranormal Activity level extra.
But it's stuff like that, though, that, again, Hollywood manipulates stuff. You don't know what's real and what to look at. If you go look at certain YouTube channels, you don't know what's real and what's not to research. Only thing you can go by is your own evidence. And trusted teams that you look at their evidence and see what they get, and conversations that we have that are real to know what you can find. So it's very hard.
So Ronnie agrees with you. It's the amount of energy it has to manifest. So absolutely. Technically, my theory and that would go hand in hand, because, it's like evolution with a bug or a butterfly or a human, for that matter. Like, you start as a baby and you go to a toddler and a child and a teenager and an adult, whatever, and so on and so forth. Like, the more you eat, like they tell you eat your vegetables so you can grow up to be big and strong type deal. Pull energy, and then you can grow up to be a big, strong shadow figure.
It goes back to what Howie and I talked about this before. Investigating with a Tesla coil, the things that we've seen on investigations when we've used it as opposed to not using it.
Yeah, things that make you go,
We've used the Tesla coil and the amount of energy that it took to make those noises that we've heard and see the things that we've seen. I need to go back to doing that. I think when we investigate again, I'm going to bring the Tesla coil and just see the difference in EVPs that we get and see what happens.
So Ronnie said most masses manifest into a figure, so it has to be an energy issue. Ronnie, I'm not going to touch on that solely because I have never, with my own two eyes, your favorite statement, seen just a black mass. I have seen with my own two eyes a black ball of something. But by definition, shut up. You know what? Moving on.
Now, we've seen a mist.
We are not mature enough on this podcast to talk about black balls.
I've seen a mist.
I have not, but it wasn't black. It was like my vape. There's
now
your
you're going to make the camera go out of focus.
No, I'm not. Okay, that's why Carl and I say it's good to investigate during the day and the night. Brandon said Blackwell Ghost is scripted.
That's
you
what I
can't
thought.
create a shadow without light, though. Now we're cooking.
Let them cook.
Jess, it's the Blackwell Ghost. You can get it on Amazon. I think there's 8 or 9 parts to the series.
It's a good series. Like if you like TV shows and stuff. It's a very good series. But at first I thought it was real with the way he was calling out paranormal investigators. He's calling everybody out for being fake. And then you watch it and you're like, you know, I've been investigating over 20 years and never seen any of this shit before.
Yeah, so he's doing a paranormal documentary of supposedly haunted locations, and he wants to go out and prove that paranormal doesn't exist. So he keeps going to these locations where people say it's like haunted, right? And like, he doesn't ever show it. He's just talking about it. And like, he's never gotten any evidence on camera ever. Like ever. Never, ever, ever. Until this guy tells him about his house, the Blackwell house. And he goes over there, he interviews the guy, and it goes from there. I'm not going to give it away. I do think it is a good watch. First episode, it's jumping. Like, it starts off kind of slow. Like I said, it's kind of on Paranormal Activity level.
It's like watching the movies Paranormal Activity.
White is all colors at once. A shadow is the total absence of colors. So then, technically, I don't know.
I've never agreed with that definition. I mean, I know it's Webster's definition, but I've never agreed with that.
It can't possibly, like, I don't agree with it either. Because if I open a crayon box,
if I want a black truck, and if it's the absence of color,
it would be clear.
It would be a clear truck.
And then if I took like every crayon out of the box and like scribbled it on a piece of paper, it's not going to make white.
If I fall in tar, I don't become clear. So it can't be the absence of color.
I don't know.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Brandon, by the way. I'm just saying I've never agreed with Webster's dictionary.
Your spirit colors, maybe. I may look a little bit deeper into that. This is like something my mom was like really into the spiritual side. Like she had like psychic medium friends and stuff. Paul has seen a black mist before. I need to correct that statement. Most masses do not manifest into figures. Oh, that's why I was like, wait, what? Okay. Do not manifest into figures.
Well, we were investigating with Howie's team before, and that's when that mist manifested and just lingered.
But it was like a smoke. It was like,
and it was white. Really slow. And that was a clear manifestation. It wasn't dark.
So if we see spirits or ghosts as shadow figures or masses, how do they see us? We don't know.
Well, Daryl, that's actually a very good point. What if we're not really seeing a mist or a mass? What if we're actually seeing a person, but our eyes isn't shaping it to a person? If that made any sense.
Again, it could be, go back to the physiological and the psychological theories behind shadow figures. Like, what if literally...
What if they're a whole person standing there and they're not really even a shadow?
Right.
Deep question. What if what we're seeing, and it's for you too, Howie, Dr. Odell, what if our perception of a shadow figure is not really a shadow? You know, what if the mist, ectoplasm, what if any of that is not really that? I mean, I could be wrong. This is just all theory that we're spitting out. What if it's actually a person that's standing there, but perhaps they're manifesting as that to our eyes? It's kind of like dogs. They can see things, and cats can see things that aren't there that we can't see.
It made me sad when I just realized dogs only see in like shades of like blue and yellow. Like for moms out there, Your kids watch the show Bluey. The colors portrayed on that cartoon, your dog can see flawlessly. Those are the colors dogs can see in. All right. Perhaps black orbs are the absence of all things or another dimension, a door to the void, or even the upside down. Daryl, I do believe they do. I believe they are intelligent. Sorry, excuse me. Cutting grass apparently kicked my ass. All right. It's on Amazon, so I believe that as much as I believe in Stephen Shippey's stuff. James said Brandon's wrong. John said we don't know. And that's the cool part about paranormal investigating, guys. So Brandon said, here's the big question, though. Where we are talking to spirits, do they think that we're the ghost?
You know, there was a movie that came out years ago, and I, for the life of me, cannot find this movie, where two families lived in a house. One family thought it was haunted, and the other both families thought the house was haunted, but one family, the family that was actually thinking the house was haunted, was actually the ghost.
So they made a jump off.
That was a great movie.
They made a jump off of that called American Horror Story. For those that have watched that, basically, like, these people move in and they think that the people that are in the house are real, but the people that are in the house.
American Horror Story was terrible, though.
It's the same concept. I'm just going by concept here.
Yeah, but this movie that I watched, I know what you're saying with the concept, but this movie, no, you didn't find out that this family that thought the house was haunted was actually.
So everybody just thought everybody was a freaking ghost.
Right, and the family that was the actual ghost thought that the house was haunted. So, like, both families thought the house was haunted, but the family who was living could never go out.
So essentially, the people that passed away were stuck in their house.
Yeah, when they tried to go outside, it was nothing but fog. Like, and they couldn't go outside. And you didn't find out to the end of the movie that they were actually the ghost. It was like a great movie, I cannot find that movie to save my life.
So it's kind of like an EVP. We record them at time, but can't hear them with our own ears. And do you notice when we're recording EVPs, if we hear disembodied voices with our own ears, 9 times out of 10, you will not capture it on your EVP.
And that happened with Howie and Ryan and I.
Carl says your eyes can only see so many colors that we are not seeing the whole picture. And then take into account, unless you have physically been to a doctor, you do not know what colors we are colorblind to. How we are seeing the world right now looks normal to us because that's how we're seeing it. But what if that's not how Sean sees it? Or you?
How many times do we argue about a color? You and I.
All right, let's take the whole famous is the dress brown or blue on Facebook.
Yeah.
That freaking dress was brown.
And no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was tan.
No.
Sean, I can pull it up.
It was blue.
Again, there you go, guys.
That post started fights.
I see that. Yes. I'll also have to decolonize your views on color meaning too. People's association with black/evil and white/good based on colonizers' ideals. For those without a Judeo-Christian basis for their associations are different. Bam. Mic drop, Anna. Thank you for that. Sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like the red goggles in Vietnam. Correct. It is not. You know what? I'm going to Google this damn dress. It's not blue. It's not blue.
It is blue.
I'm Googling the dress.
There you go, using Google for answers again.
Because the stupid dress.
Blue? You mad about it?
The thing is tan.
It's blue.
What is that?
Blue.
That really is blue to you?
Yes. And when you find out that when you put on here and everybody sees it's blue, you know what you're going to say? You're going to say, "Oh, brother, you got me."
Bro, that is not freaking blue. Like,
that is blue.
This is not real life right now. Like, I'm sending it to you.
Show people the picture you on the lawnmower right there.
I'm not showing anybody.
Show people the camera footage you riding around.
No, like, I really am pulling up this damn dress because now I'm like pissed.
And that's not the dress that people show.
Yes, it was. That is the exact post.
Not the post.
That is the post.
Why are you getting worked up?
Because colorblind, I'm going to the doctor.
Get your eyes checked.
You shut up. Don't say a word. Don't say a single
say it best
solitary
when you
word.
say nothing at all.
Ronnie, you be quiet.
Leave Ronnie alone, Ronnie.
No, he said blue. What color is that, you guys? Seriously, honestly. Don't even side. Right now, honestly, what color is that? Thank you, Amy. What color is it? Daryl, I'm not with you. Don't even be funny right now. Then you can get into autistic person. You know what? If you guys are you see, now you guys are being funny. Just putting blue in there to be funny. Okay.
Oh, brother, you got me.
That's not blue. There's nothing blue about that freaking dress. Like, that is tan and like off-white.
I see blue.
No, then you need to get your freaking eyes checked. Men are generally colorblind, but the dress is blue. That dress on the screen is not blue.
Blue. Blue.
That is not blue. Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Thank you.
Emily's going to take your side all the time. And everybody in the comment section, Emily takes Courtney's side every time. Courtney could be dead wrong, and Emily's going to take your side.
Wait, Chad, what color is it? Gold and white.
Chad can't see.
What? Are you serious?
Well, I see a lot more blues.
I know, which is like, so this proves my theory. Hold on. This proves my theory right here. So the question was, how do we see different? Therefore, ghosts see different.
Everybody else.
We're running over. Now, Leah, you saw blue and black. There was no black. I don't know what you're seeing. Carrie said white and tan. Gold and blue. Now we're wilding out up in here. Everybody needs to go to the doctor. All right. With that being said, guys, I want to throw a little something at you guys, and we're going to talk about it next podcast. Emily said she has my side because I'm right. And Chad even said, dude, like, what? And Debbie said gold, but the hair saw blue.
The hair has spoken. That's it.
That's it. Wrap it up.
The hair has spoken.
Back you up, son.
Back you up, son. The hair has spoken.
All right, guys, enough with the dress.
Basiman.
Like, this is crazy. So, with this being said, next podcast, all right, we are going to continue this discussion. I have an absolute obsession with the physiological and the psychological sides of paranormal investigating. Sean has an obsession with the science behind paranormal investigating. Please take this week and dig deep and figure out what your obsession is, because
are we on Courtney versus Sean now?
No, it all goes hand in hand. Everything goes hand in hand. You have to have science in order to have physiological, psychological, and all that fun stuff, right? But check this out. I'm going to throw you guys for a loop before I let you guys go. Okay. We as human beings have a gland in our brains.
What's it called? And
of course, Sean is not mature enough for me to say it, but it is called the pineal glands. Pineal gland.
That's what I said.
Okay. It is shaped like a little miniature pine cone, and it's an endocrine gland. All right. This little gland is an absolute crucial part of paranormal investigating. And I'm going to explain to you guys next week why. Okay. So if you want to take some time, do some research on your own, that's fine. But this is, Brenda already knows. Bam. She's done her research. So you guys can open up and exercise this glands. All right. And there's things you can do to find out if your pineal gland is functioning at full function or is not
we'll give a hint. John Cena.
Yeah, not functioning at capacity and has potentially calcified, because this gland operates your circadian rhythm. And for those that don't know what a circadian rhythm is, that's your sleep-wake cycle. So again, I'm going to go into this deeper next week. Okay, no, you cannot have penis pine cones. You have a penis pine cone. It's in your brain. All right. Pineal gland, shaped like a pine cone, otherwise known as your third eye. The third eye has started to put off its own magnetic field. We are going to chat about that. So the circadian rhythm is crucial to paranormal investigating. Crucial. And if yours has calcified, and prior to me getting off here, I will give you guys a little hint to just see if it has. So, and this is going to look really silly, but on your own or behind the screen.
Don't talk about it right now. It's next week.
I was going to let them go ahead and try it.
I gave him a hint. John Cena.
Okay. We're leaving it a hint.
Remember, John Cena. You don't know who John Cena is?
What if nobody watches wrestling?
Everybody watches wrestling.
No.
Can't see me. That's the hint.
So now you got to go do research, I guess. But then they're going to do all the research, and we're not going to have anything to talk about.
We'll have a lot to talk about. If you're about to tell it all, so we're going to have a show next week. Next week,
pineal gland.
John Cena. You can do that research, and it has to do with that. There you go.
So, Amy said I need to know.
Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. For now.
John said you can't see me.
For now, check out the freaking awesome paranormal show.
Yeah, hop on over to the Rift Nation Network. Check out Ryan Jones on the freaking awesome paranormal show.
And
it's always, yes, and Rhonda Harris, and their guest of the night. I'm not sure who that is, but it's always a good time over there. Next Tuesday, we will chat a little bit more about how to exercise and kind of open up your third eye, and be a more effective paranormal investigator. So I know, Amy, I'm sorry. But we will be there. Always a pleasure. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. I love you all.
Big love.
And until next time, I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we'll see you on the other side.